Welcome to another episode of Mick and the Fat Man, digging the dirt on life, music, and everything. And now here's the Fat Man.
Well, thank you very much, Princess Fanula, our favourite dairy girl. Welcome to Mick and the Fat Man. We're not here for an episode, unfortunately. We're here to have a little announcement about what we're doing over the next couple of months. Mick, how are you going anyway, mate?
Mate, I'm still fantastic, and I expect to be so over the next couple of months.
We're gonna go on a little bit of holidays, aren't we, mate?
We are, and not even together.
No, because that would be a little bit weird.
It would, yeah. Well, at least we could do episodes if we went.
If we went together,
yeah.
We could try to do it remotely, but sometimes we do that with varying degrees of success.
Yeah.
And in fact, during the pandemic, when we weren't allowed out, we did do a couple of episodes remotely, and they turned out a little bit shit. So what? We're going to try and redo some of them. But while we're having our little holiday, Mick, what are we going to be doing?
Well, I'm riding my motorbike around Australia.
Oh, very nice. The whole way?
Yeah, pretty much. Straight up the guts to Darwin, and
Nice.
then all the way around the coast and then across the Nullarbor and back to Sydney.
And I'm going halfway around Australia. So I'm heading to a place called Broome on the west coast of Australia. I'm going to spend a few months there with my daughter, basically chasing alligators and stingers and shit like that, and having a fun time.
Sounds great.
I think so. But one thing we will be doing is indulging in overpriced petrol and that sort of stuff while we travel around. I hear tell on the Nullarbor plain at the moment, diesel is $3.20 a litre. So
Diesel, wow.
So it's going to push the old fuel tank bill up a little bit. But anyway, that's life.
Mm.
So what do we got available for our humble listeners while we're away, Mick?
Well, as you mentioned, a couple of the episodes that we recorded last year during the lockdown were a bit crappy, and in fact, it sounded like because we weren't able to get together to do it and do them face to face, it sounded like I was in another room shouting my bit in, and that didn't work at all. So we've left a little treat, and today, straight after this, is an episode. We've redone the Genesis episode from last year. And it's not just word for word, so it's a new episode. Many of the same facts, of course, but if you've already listened to the Genesis one, yeah, give this one a bit of a whirl, because, as you know, everything that we do is just a straight conversation. You know, it's not written. So I think you might find it interesting and you might find it fun. So there's a little treat. So that'll keep you going, and we'll be back on the 16th of October with a brand new episode.
It's important to note that what we don't know, we make up. So. Yeah,
That's right. That's exactly right. Yes. Yeah, all the way through to albums, people on the albums, all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah. In fact, most of the albums we talk about don't even exist.
Yeah.
They're just rubbish.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so that's it, folks. Do miss us a little bit if you don't mind, and we'll see you later on in the year. Bye for now.
Welcome to another episode of Mick and the Fat Man, digging the dirt on life, music, and everything. And now here's the Fat Man.
Well, thank you very much, Princess Fanula, our favourite dairy girl. Welcome to Mick and the Fat Man. That's right, folks. We are digging the dirt on life, music, and everything. And Mick, speaking of digging the dirt, I want to reference a couple of people who have been digging the dirt a little bit more than you would have thought, because they've carked it recently. So I thought I might kick off just with a little bit of a tribute to a few people that have died recently this year. So kicking off, first of all, was Chris Bailey of the Saints, who died on the 9th of April this year. And he was in, as I said, the Saints, a colossal band, and in 1973 really kicked off the really one of the pioneers of punk music. So thank you, Chris, and have a happy afterlife. Another person, Taylor Hawkins. I think everybody's heard about Taylor Hawkins dying, the much-loved dynamo drummer of the Foo Fighters, died in Bogota. Mick, I know you're a fan of Bogota. What did you think of that one when he died?
I couldn't think of a better place to die. And when I die, I'm going to make sure I'm on my way to Bogota.
Let me know when you're getting close, because I'd like to be there with you.
I shall.
And I'll say things nice about you, like the toxicology was inconclusive and shit like that. But, yeah.
Well, the good thing about Bogota is that you don't need to take your stuff in. You can just get it there.
Yeah, and that's right. And poor old Taylor, I don't know what he died of, but he did have a couple of little bits of opioid, a bit of benzos, some tricyclic antidepressants, bit of THC. But I think he may have had a heart attack. I don't know. I think those things were just incidental. He was having a bit of fun anyway. Good luck to the bloke, I say. Good luck to him. Now, another person that died recently is William Dale Fries Jr. And who could forget Big Bill, or stage name, C.W. McCall? And who could forget, looks like we got ourselves a convoy.
We got a mighty convoy trucking through the night.
Yeah, so yeah, he had a good innings. He died at 93, which I was impressed with. Yeah, so poor old CJ, or what was his name?
CW.
CW McCall. Yeah, good on you, mate. Yeah, so number one on the Billboard in 1975 was number one on the Billboard Top 100. Yeah, so anyway, he was also elected the mayor of Ouray, Colorado, and was the mayor for 6 years. So that's good news, isn't it? Whew, fantastic stuff. Now, the last one I want to talk about it's close to your heart. I know this, Michael. That is Sister Janet Mead passed on. 84 she was. And who could forget Sister Janet Mead, Catholic nun, best known for recording the pop rock version of Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I don't know what that song was. Anyway, I'm not sure which version of the Lord's Prayer. They kind of keep changing the words a little bit now and then, don't they? But anyway, one of them she did. And she got into number 4, so she did quite well for herself. I assume she gave all the money away to the poor, the poor, and to the parish and all the rest of it. But good on Sister Janet Mead. I know you were a fan. You had all her albums, I think, from memory.
All of it.
Yeah. Anyway, Mick, welcome to episode. I don't know what the episode is. Are we saying this is episode number 15 still?
This is a redo of episode 15, season 1.
Welcome to episode number 15, season 1. Mick, what have you been listening to recently?
Mate, I've been listening to the soundtrack of a show that's on cable at the moment. It's called Mr. Mercedes, and it's based on a Stephen King story. Mm-hmm. Executive produced by Stephen King.
Well done.
And he's a man who's big on music. Yeah. Every one of his books has a terrific track list. You can you can put a playlist with all of his books, and it'd be great.
All the ones I buy come with a CD in the back sleeve with suggested playlist for this album, for this book.
Well, of course, it's only natural. What's great on this album, on this show, is one of the key songs is by the Ramones, and it's got the villain right at the start driving along, and on his radio is playing Pet Sematary by the Ramones. So I think it's hilarious that a song about one Stephen King book playing as the key song in another Stephen King story.
It's like a room of mirrors, isn't it?
It is. You just never sure where you are.
Going and going and going. Well, I've been out there watching McCartney 321. Which is the series on, I think I've discussed this before, Apple TV, I think, is it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Apple TV. With McCartney and Rick Rubin there together, basically pulling apart old Beatles songs and also a bit of Paul McCartney stuff, and Paul with a great memory and stories and recollections of the past, and how he met George and how he met John, and then they'd be sitting there, and Rick would just be sitting at a mixing desk, and they'd start playing one of the songs, and then he'd pull down the vocals, and he'd pull down the drums, and there'd just be Paul's bass line there, and they'd be getting a bit of a hard-on over Paul's bass line. He's a bloody good bass player. interestingly. And as you go on, you realise that, in fact, he probably played the vast majority of the instruments in the band. You know, this one, I played guitar on this one. Yeah, I actually played the drums because Ringo got the shits one time and left, so I played the drums here. And, it's quite a multi-talented musician. But Paul also talks about how Sgt. Pepper was the Beatles' response to Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys, which I thought was a bit interesting. And Jimi Hendrix, so the album was released on the 26th of May 1967. On the 4th of June 1967, Jimi Hendrix paid the ultimate compliment to the Beatles by performing the title track of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band live at the Seville Theatre.
That would have been worth seeing.
Would have been a bit weird. I can't quite imagine. It was 20 years ago today, being played by Hendrix, but it would have been fun to see. And oddly enough, Paul and George are actually in the audience. So there you go. So there's some great. It's a great show, and some great recollections in there. And the music is, if you don't mind a bit of the Beatles, and I know you love them, Mick. It's great to reminisce with Rick and Paul. Anyway, all good. Mick, I know you got something rattling around downstairs. It's rattling around quite a bit. I can see it moving around, jumping up in the air and the like. It's that Globite school bag. And apart from old fruit that you didn't quite eat that your mum packed for you in the Globite school bag, what else you got?
Mate, I've got 5 crack musicians in there. Genesis.
Ooh, 5, not 3.
Not 3, no, because then there were 3, and that's where they were pretty ordinary.
Oh, okay. So just on Genesis, interestingly, in the Australian chart book, Genesis had quite a lot of chart success in Australia, with the top song being "Invisible Touch," which I think was when they were 3. 1986, got to number 3, was in there for 20 weeks. Really, all their singles were all the when we were 3 type stuff. But Selling England by the Pound and The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway did make it into the albums. A Trick of the Tail, Wind and Wuthering, I don't even... Is that one of their later ones?
Yeah. Both of those are post-Gabriel.
Yeah. So Selling England by the Pound did actually make it into the top 100 of the albums in 1974, and The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway also made it in 1975. So, and their biggest success in the album space was Invisible Touch, number 3, 1986. Dull. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Tell me about Genesis.
Mate, well, Genesis is, at least the Genesis that we recognise, is your archetypal 70s band. They're a band that's generally classified as progressive, although when people say progressive, they tend to mean overly complex, lots of quiet moments where you can contemplate, and Genesis wasn't like that at all.
But they were regarded as prog rock, weren't they?
They were indeed, because they were 5 virtuoso musicians, and we'll go into what they did and where they studied and all of that sort of thing. But the whole show was everything. The way they looked, the way they sounded, the promotion that went with the band. One fellow in the New Yorker recently described Genesis as early Genesis has been described as Peter Gabriel dressed in a flower costume while singing 10 and 20-minute songs that sounded like excerpts from Gilbert and Sullivan operas as reimagined by Lewis Carroll.
Did someone write that?
Yeah.
So who was actually in the band back in those days?
In those days, well, there's 3 distinct eras for Genesis.
Yep.
There was their first formative period, before Phil Collins and Steve Hackett joined. And everybody knows Phil Collins, and we'll talk a little bit more about Steve Hackett later on. Then there's what's regarded as their classic lineup, which is 5 musicians: Peter Gabriel on vocals, Tony Banks on keyboards, Mike Rutherford on bass. And I've got to tell you, listening to Mike Rutherford, he is a fantastic bass player.
He is.
Absolutely brilliant. Yep.
Concur.
Steve Hackett on guitar, who... Same description, just insert guitar there. Fantastic musician. And Phil Collins, who is very underrated. If you're trying to judge Phil Collins by Sussudio and Invisible Touch and so on, you're going to be sadly disappointed. But if you go back and you listen to all the stuff that he did in the past, around this time that we're going to talk about today, he is a cracker. Drummer, and I would have no hesitation in putting him into my top 25 list of rock drummers of all time. He is just fantastic. And then afterwards, once Peter Gabriel left in the mid-70s, there's what I call post-Gabriel, simplified, shorter songs, no complexity, and it's only then Phil Collins, Mike Rutherford and Tony Banks. And that's the Invisible Touch stuff.
And Rutherford, I think, actually has the two-handled, fretboard, a bass and a guitar have made for him, which is unusual to have a guitar and a bass on the one guitar.
Indeed.
So, yeah, he had that. Whereas you see something like other musos, they might have a 12-string and a 6-string on a guitar. He had a bass and a guitar. Anyway.
Well, they needed that because after Steve Hackett left, somebody had to play some guitar.
Somebody had to play guitar, but I don't know how you keep a bass beat going while you're playing guitar. Anyway, he did, obviously. He's very good.
Just put it on a loop.
Another hand.
Yeah.
Maybe grew another hand.
That's right, yeah. A la the Wiggles and Henry the Octopus.
Indeed.
No one thought of it. You didn't think of that, did you?
No, I didn't think for a second. But now that you mention it, could have been.
It could have been indeed. Today I want to talk about the classic period.
Yep.
That lineup with Peter Gabriel on lead vocals, songwriting. Peter Gabriel wrote the lyrics.
Yep.
And the band wrote the songs. So,
right?
Like a lot of the bands that we love, they were very much a collaborative effort, and each of the musicians contributed to all of the songs because they were all virtuosos in their chosen instruments. Steve Hackett on guitar, he's a major element of the sound of the band. When he left, I'm talking about when he's left, and we haven't even talked about what he did when he was there, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
When he left, the sound became a lot more keyboard and drum machine oriented.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
for Tony Banks.
Exactly right. Yes. Yeah. Steve Hackett has in fact re-recorded much of his best regarded Genesis work, and you can find all that on YouTube. And it's really interesting. The fellow that he's got singing looks like an extra from Interview with the Vampire.
He is a tall, lanky lad, isn't he?
Oh yes, with 1970s hair.
I know, and but he sounds quite good. I think he's got quite a good voice.
Oh yeah.
He sounds quite good, but it looks a little bit. Well, in fact, I think I read somewhere he's actually a fan. He was a fan who was a muso, but a big fan of Genesis.
Oh, isn't that cool?
Only the early period, though.
Well, of course. Yeah. So Hackett, it's interesting in him re-recording his old stuff and touring it, and we're going to see Steve Hackett later this year, and he's playing in Sydney, and I really can't wait for that.
Yeah, it should be great.
So we'll talk about some of those shows
Maybe
later
doesn't
on.
cark it before we get there.
Well, they're of an age, aren't they? I don't think he will. He's a good, clean living, fit young individual.
No,
and that mustache has got to give him at least another 5 years.
And I'm thinking he's not into the opioids, the benzodiazepines, the tricyclic antidepressants.
Well, that's why he
the
left the
marijuana.
Foo Fighters.
Yeah. Hopefully he's not, because otherwise it's going to be a very interesting show.
But look, what's interesting is him re-recording and then Genesis going on to record the stuff that they did later in their career. It highlights how important he was to the sound of Genesis. A bit like Robert Plant's solo work highlighted how important he was to Zeppelin.
He was a fairly important.
Well, I mean, quite aside from being the singer, but his contributions to the overall sound and the way the songs were presented and played and rolled out and so on.
Regarded as the fourth instrument of the band.
Indeed.
Yes.
So Hackett, this was his first major gig. You know, he played around like most musicians, but there's an interesting quote with him. It says, "My first professional gig with Genesis was a complete disaster. I basically had a new fuzz box that did nothing but feedback all night, and it made me forget every single note I was supposed to remember to play. Phil Collins was drunk and missed a lot of the drum parts, so the show was a shambles. there was a big row after the gig, and I thought they were going to sack me, but they didn't. It was a baptism by fire for sure. And that's from a magazine called Guitar World.
It's interesting now when you look at guitarists and you look at their feet, and they've got like about 40 pedals that they click all the way through, and he's got his fuzz box, and that doesn't work. Just don't work.
And that's interesting that he says that, because Genesis subsequently acquired a reputation for being so pristine, not Supertramp like stale, but pristine, as in didn't miss a note, played everything beautifully live, however they wanted to play it. So early on, that wasn't always the case.
No.
But Phil,
it's good to see that they just got a bit pissed every now and again.
Well, since we've mentioned Phil, let's go on to Phil Collins.
Yeah.
Awesome drummer.
Sure.
I've seen him described as Bonham-like, in a reference to John Bonham, the drummer from Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. And
some of the sounds and the beefy sound that he got from his drums, we've talked about before, and we will talk again about Phil Collins's use of the gated mic, particularly in one of his solo songs, "In the Air Tonight."
Yeah, fantastic song.
Yeah, and that's achieved by putting the microphone a little further away from the drum set and putting a series of mics, so one 10 foot away, one 20 foot away from the drums, so that as he gets louder, only then does that microphone pick it up, so it all augments the sound.
Do you think he needed a coke roadie like Bonham?
I don't think so. No,
right.
No, Phil's not got that reputation, although he is on record as having got pissed on a concert. So.
But he didn't need a coke roadie to manage his needs.
I don't believe so.
No, fair enough.
No.
Good to hear.
He sang, not a lot in Genesis, but he had a very strong, a certain indefinable presence. No, he had a lot of presence on a lot of Genesis songs. His voice is very similar in the same range as Gabriel's.
It is.
So he sang harmonies with Gabriel, and they sang counterpoint on quite a number of songs. Carpet Crawlers, which is one of my favourite Genesis songs, a lovely, delicate song. It was mainly Phil Collins.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. He does actually have a kind of a similar sound as Gabriel.
Yeah, he does. Yes, and look, I must say that it's a little bit off-putting to say he has a similar voice. He has a voice in the same range, but it doesn't have the strength and, if you like, weirdness of Gabriel's voice.
Wrong with weirdness, yeah.
Yeah. He was a fantastic drummer. You can actually tell, you listen to the first couple of Genesis albums, and they're good. It's first albums by a band. They didn't, like a lot of the artists that we've talked about, they didn't jump out of the box with a fantastic first album and then just start to fiddle away. They developed and grew as they went. And Collins joined after their third album, and you can see an immediate difference in the way the band sounded and played, and having that beefy drum sound, that real bang, bang, bang in the background.
What was the third album?
Is
that a gotcha question?
It is a gotcha question. You do it to me every time.
I do.
Thank you, Jeffrey. And it was Nursery Crime. Yeah.
Okay.
I was having a bit of a mental block there.
So that's so the first two. What do you think of those first two?
They're good. They're nice, but they're nice.
Yeah. Right.
They've got some great stuff on it because they kept playing their early stuff and often did it live. And Genesis is a band that's got a lot of live albums. So because their live sound was so good, they tweaked the songs live and were able to stretch out a little bit more.
Right.
First couple of albums, they were learning to use the studio. And they are a band that really got a lot of value out of the studio.
Mind you, studios weren't like they are now.
They weren't as flash. No, that's very true. Yeah.
In fact, Gabriel has a very good studio. I've seen a couple of YouTube videos of his studio. It's very nice.
Well, he's made it his career to have fantastic sound. And
it's got nice timber and stuff like that. It's nice.
Well,
it's in London, in England somewhere, in the bushes in England.
Funnily enough, that's because he's English.
It all falls into place, doesn't
it? Yeah, you've been wondering.
Wow. How does that work?
Indeed. Yeah. And look, Collins joining the band, giving that backing vocals, even though they were really subtle in places. So having Collins singing just underneath Gabriel gave a lot more depth to his voice and a lot more, a lot stronger, a deeper sound.
Right. Okay.
Rutherford on bass. That's Michael Rutherford. Looked like he's hidden away in the rhythm section, but he's a very high caliber player.
Yeah.
He went on in tandem with Genesis, because they were sort of on and off over the years, he had a career with Mike and the Mechanics, which was also very successful. And I understand one of the things you like to, one of your little party tricks is to talk about how Mike and the Mechanics actually charted higher than Genesis in the Kent Report.
They did. They did. Is he the actual Mike, or is someone else a Mike and he's a mechanic? What do you think?
Well, he's a mechanic, and they got a couple of other spanners.
Are they all
along? Yeah.
Or are they all called Mike? Do you think?
I hadn't thought of that. No, I don't think they're Mike.
What's your name?
There was Terry.
Well,
Neil.
Mind if I call you Mike to keep it clear?
Yeah, save confusion. And he was a great, particularly on the albums that we're going to talk about, Selling England by the Pound and Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. The bass runs on those, complex, really not just a rhythm instrument, but another melody instrument in the song as well.
Yeah, right.
Tony Banks on keyboards. Man, is there nothing this guy can't play? Piano, keyboards, all sorts of mixes. I'm not sure whether he had a Moog synthesizer, or Moog as it's pronounced. Moog synthesizer. But nonetheless, he was fantastic in playing.
Yeah, because he would have been at the early stages of synthesizers.
Very, very early.
So God knows what he was playing.
Well, yeah, he was a compatriot, not so much a compatriot or a colleague, but at the same time as Keith Emerson, who was the leader in introduction of the synthesizer into rock music. And Tony Banks was a fan of The Nice, which was Keith Emerson's early group.
Oh.
Yeah, there
Is
you
that
go.
right? There you go.
There you go.
Well, they call it the Nice.
The Nice, yes.
Oh, there you go. Now, just as you mentioned before about Mike and the Mechanics, indeed, I'd actually forgotten this, but they actually got to number one on the Australian charts.
Hooray!
For The Living Years.
And that was very nice.
That was a good song.
Yeah.
Nothing special, but yeah. Good for a top 40 song.
Well, indeed. All of the band went to private schools, and you can hear when you hear them interviewed and when they speak, it's very plum accents.
Posh
yes.
bastards.
Yeah.
Like us.
Well, exactly. And we try to put that plum into our voice as we speak.
Because we were very big in the private school world, weren't we?
Well, other people called it reform school. That's what they used to call it.
I thought it was a reformation.
Ah, right. Yes. That's a song by Spandau Ballet. But that's another story indeed.
Spandau Ballet.
Yes.
Mick and the Reformations.
I like it.
Hello.
It's got legs.
Hello.
It's got legs.
Mick and the Fat Man do reformations.
Yeah.
Or revelations, whatever.
Maybe we could talk about Spandau Ballet one day. They were
I
great. I
think so.
really had a lot of fun with them. They were really good.
I know. You used to go out with them and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
They were fun guys.
Yeah.
Just party.
Yeah, party. A lot of benzos, a lot of opioids.
Yep. A lot of tricyclic antidepressants.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
marijuana, or as we call it, THC nowadays.
Yeah. What? Taylor Hawkins coming. It's amazing how young they were when they started. And that's the Genesis guys.
Oh, who are they?
All of them were born in 1950. So we're talking about a band that started around about 1970.
Right.
And so they're 20 years old.
So Rutherford was born in 50 as well?
He was indeed.
Okay.
Collins was born in January 51, so he was the spring chicken of the group,
right.
Which is really interesting given that they've just played their last concert and Collins finished it in a wheelchair.
I know. He wasn't...
Not a well chappy.
No, poor bugger. His hands are all fucked as well.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's from playing drums.
Don't play drums.
Yeah.
RSI probably of some description.
I would expect so, yeah. And you look at the photos of them when they are, around that time, and Collins looks like a very young Dennis Waterman from Minder. Hello, Gov.
I could be so good for you.
Indeed. The music, which is what we love most about Genesis. A review done by a magazine called Ultimate Classic Rock, which is an online music publication, looked at all 180 Genesis songs. Yeah, and I think it was reasonably balanced because they favoured the early stuff, which
makes sense.
Makes sense, of course. But they did put some caveats on that and so on and so on. But they deduced they assessed that the early stuff was of a better quality overall for music. Yeah. not
fairly
talking about hits and not talking about danceable stuff.
I could just see you dancing to Selling England by the Pound, hey?
Well, exactly.
Come on, love, let's have a dance.
Yes. Can you tell me where my country lies? Perhaps not. A couple of albums from Genesis to Revelation and Trespass, and they were getting the bugs out. They were warm-up albums. Nice stuff on them, but again, they were very, very, very early. Their third album, Nursery Crime, that's where Phil Collins and Steve Hackett joined the band, and immediate lift in quality. The songs, the musical box. So the musical box should be on the playlist that we'll put with this, because you really got to listen to it. When you listen to Genesis, if you go searching for it on Spotify, you'll find that what comes up first is Genesis Live, but it's after Gabriel left.
Oh.
So, and they only play the second half of the song because it's quite a long song, and
the audiences by then couldn't listen to long songs?
Apparently not. No, apparently not.
That makes sense.
But there's two distinct styles. There's a very quiet, folky start, and then there's a really solid thumping rock version, with Gabriel at the end of it singing now, and the better version for mine is the earlier one on an album called Live by Genesis. Right. So the one I'm talking about was on an album called Seconds Out.
Right.
So if you go, we should put it on the playlist.
Yep.
But you want the full version. It's on an album called Live by Genesis. It's very early, and it's a terrific song. It starts off with Rutherford knocks his bass pedal, and it goes boom boom. And Peter Gabriel, in his plum English voice, says, "That was an unaccompanied bass pedal solo by Michael Rutherford." And the crowd erupts. They had a great time. And that album also has a song which is Colin's first lead vocal for the band, a song for Absent Friends.
Okay.
And he did some other stuff later. It was really, really quite nice. Their fourth album was an album called Foxtrot. And it featured a drawing or an artwork featuring a fox in a red dress.
Why?
Well, foxtrot,
Fox. Oh, dancing.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Dancing in a red dress with a fox.
So
that makes sense.
So on stage, Peter Gabriel wore the dress with a fox's head on stage for the tour to support that album, and that was the first recorded example of huge costumes related to a particular piece of music. He'd worn costumes a lot, and you can see on the cover of Genesis Live that he wore a great big triangular headpiece. Mm-hmm. But on this one, that got him a lot of coverage, the fact that he's wearing a dress with a fox's head now. I'm still wearing them now,
Well,
I think that fox's head's getting a bit ratty.
It's had a bit of a munch on it by a few little animals somewhere.
Well, with all the rain that we've had recently, I was disappointed to see the mould growing on it.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a wash. I'm going to put it, get some fox cleaning stuff.
Yep. So we go then to Genesis Live.
Yep.
And it really demonstrates how good Genesis were in concert. Aside from that early concert that got referenced by Steve Hackett, where Collins was pissed, they were so tight live. They were just absolutely tight and exciting. And I mentioned Supertramp as a great concert, a great recorded album. Boring in concert. It was note for note. They were precision.
Yes.
Nobody moved.
No.
Nobody missed a note. Nobody did anything.
You almost couldn't see them playing the piano. They were sort of very muted.
Exactly.
But it was a good light show.
Yeah.
Light show was good.
It was. Well, they needed it.
They needed something.
They needed to have something moving. Yeah. So the band had a good relationship with the audience, fanatical audience following.
Mostly blokes, do you think? Just saying.
Probably.
Yeah. I think so.
So, musical box that I've already mentioned.
Yeah.
It's a ghost story about a malevolent spirit who wants to possess the lady who's who's
got the musical box.
The central point of the song, yes. And you opened it up and a little ballerina turned around.
Is that right?
Yes. It starts quietly for the song, but at 3 minutes 38, starts off with huge power chords. So Hackett gets right into it, Banks's Hammond organ, and then that leads into it's been described as a searing Hackett solo.
Sounds like something by Monty Python, doesn't it? On the Hammond organ.
Gabriel and Collins harmonising. They were singing off each other, so they were singing different lines, but against each other. I mentioned that contrapunto, as it's called.
Oh, look at you!
Look at
Mr.
me.
It's your private school upbringing, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, look at me! I know a fancy word.
Yeah. I only know one. Then we go to Selling England by the Pound.
Yep.
Which is very English. In fact, one criticism in the sense of a comment was that the album was too English to be accepted anywhere else in the world. I don't know if that was true, because they did a 200-date US tour to support it, and it actually appeared in the charts in the US. But the album itself has virtuoso playing by every member of the band, and it's got our favourite track, Firth of Fifth.
Oh, what a song.
It is. Every member of the band, you know how you listen to some things and you listen to Deep Purple, there goes Blackmore, right? It's Richie Blackmore's song because there he goes off on his solo again, or whatever it might be. This band, every one of them plays with and in harmony with each other. Harmony in the sense of all the sound gets along, and it's very, very ensemble type sound.
I'll tell you something interesting about the album. I'm just looking it up here.
Oh yes.
It's 53 minutes long, which is very unusual for an album of 1973.
Absolutely. Well, it was a single album too, so that makes it 27 minutes aside.
It's very long.
Yes.
And oddly enough, the Firth of Fifth is not the longest song.
No, it's
the Battle
of Epping Forest,
which is 11 minutes,
Yeah.
followed closely by The Cinema Show, which is also 11 minutes.
And each of those songs is bloody terrific.
Cinema Show is a really good song.
Yeah.
I was listening to it yesterday. It's a great song. I really enjoyed it.
Home from work, our Juliet clears the morning meal. She dabs her skin with pretty smells, concealing to appeal. Yeah, isn't that lovely?
Where did you drag that from?
That's
out
the
of your-
first verse of the Cinema Show.
You are a nut feeding. I don't know how you... Anyway...
And that's about this girl who's and it goes on about Romeo as well, who then just disappears somewhere.
Oh, okay.
But lovely song. The one you mentioned before, Battle of Epping Forest, was inspired by an article that Gabriel read in the newspaper about a battle between two gangs of spivs in England. Now, Epping Forest is a suburb, a little like some of the less desirable suburbs in Sydney or Melbourne.
Oh, okay.
Right, it's a lovely name, crappy suburb, which
Right.
is always the way.
Yep.
And we know some of the terms that Gabriel's used from watching English cop shows.
Yep.
Things like he talks about East End heroes, inverted commas. Yeah. The shops that he's talking about one guy who's an extortionist. The shops that need him are those who haven't paid. and Liquid Len of wine, women, and Wandsworth fame. And Wandsworth is a large prison in London.
Oh, it is too. Good
It
point.
is, yep. And then you've got Firth of Fifth, which is, that's my number one favourite Genesis song of all time. It is just an awesome. Starts off with a complex piano piece played by Tony Banks.
Yep.
And in fact, that piece is so complex that Tony Banks stopped playing it live, the piano part, because he didn't have the equipment he felt he didn't have the equipment to do it justice on stage.
Is that right?
So he stopped playing. Yeah, stopped playing it. I don't know if he picked it up later, but it was probably a little long for much of Genesis's later incarnations.
I don't think the crowd would have got off on it very much somehow. They want the more your 3-minute type song.
Absolutely. Mainly written by Tony Banks. 9.5 minutes, as you've already said. So 3 songs, over half an hour.
Yes, that's right. And it's got 2 words in it.
Oh, yes, your favourite words, aren't they? Yes.
I've never heard them. I've never heard them in together anywhere near each other. In fact, I don't even know what they mean.
Oh, you don't? Oh.
Well, because I'm not good at that sort of stuff. You're right into it, but undinal. Or is it, what's that mean?
Undinal. And he uses it in the context of undinal songs, Lead the Sailors On, so referring the sirens, drawing ships to their doom. And it means an undine is a Northern European water spirit.
Oh, yeah. I
of course. Didn't you know that?
I did not know that. It's got me buggered. And Mandrigal.
Madrigal.
Madrigal.
Yes.
Is it Mandrigal? Oh, Madrigal.
Madrigal. Yes. It's, again, this is Peter Gabriel showing off.
It certainly is.
And
that's the private school coming out of it.
It is indeed, yes. And Peter used Madrigal to describe a piece for 4 to 6 voices with no instrumental accompaniment. A cappella would be an example of that.
Would that be the only example of a song that has that word in it, do you think?
It's not a common one, is it? You don't see it on the top 40 a lot. I can't imagine Nina singing 99 Luftballons Madrigal.
That's right. Anyway, I was shocked and amazed. I didn't know they were in there until I was watching it on YouTube and I had the subtitles on. And it came up and went, what the fuck's that?
Well, the song itself is full of mythical creatures. It's got a unicorn, which is a variant of a unicorn, a young unicorn. Did you know that?
No.
And it's got
a uniform as a young unicorn.
Uniform.
Fawn.
Yes.
Oh, I get it now. Yeah, okay.
Knights and the sirens and so on.
So what's it about?
I don't know. But it's
a lot. It's long. It's got a lot of words in it.
It's whatever it's about, it says it beautifully.
It does. It does. It says it with style and with a very nice guitar solo in it.
Absolutely extraordinary guitar solo. But what you don't, you hear it and you think, okay, there's Peter Gabriel singing. That's all good. There's Steve Hackett playing. That's all great. And you can hear the organ. But what you don't hear until you stop and really have a listen to it is the bass playing. The bass playing on that track is some of the nicest bass playing of the 70s. It really is very, very good. And, of course, Collins, his drumming is very obvious. So it doesn't progressive, complex, Jesus, when's this song finish? Collins keeps it moving, really, really moving along, which we better do too.
No, plenty of time. We could go for hours.
Oh, and do.
It is a good song, and I think it's sort of regarded as one of their best, isn't it?
Well, it had a strong critical response. The critics heard it, and I've seen it described in numerous reviews as one of the best examples of progressive rock of all time.
Must be.
Yeah, and many, including myself, regard it as the finest single work by Genesis. It's just awesome, and that's what Steve Hackett is going to play when we go to see him.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah.
I hope someone plays the piano part at the beginning.
That'll be nice, won't it? Because I wonder if the equipment will be up to the job.
I hope the equipment will be. I hope they bring it in town to someone to play it.
Yeah.
I wonder who'll play it.
Yeah.
Have to have a piano player, I guess.
Well, that would be good. Yeah. Elton John?
Yeah, see, that's a great idea. Wouldn't that be great if Elton came on and did the fifth verse?
And sort of segued into Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting in the middle of it.
Hello.
Now we're talking. Now it's on.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, because he could use a few bob. He's a bit down on his uppers.
And when we go and see this concert, Mick, do you think that there might be a majority of men there?
I think there will be. And despite the fact that the singer has 70s style hairband hair.
And is 70.
Is he?
No, not the singer. So
the song is.
Yes.
The song's 50.
Yeah.
I do suspect that there'll be a majority of men there, and I do suspect that there'll be probably less hair than there was when the song was released.
I would think so.
It's really funny. I went and saw the Stones a few years back, and what I saw was amazing. A lot of people with their hair tied back and nothing on top. Which I thought, yeah, you've got your metaphors mixed up there, mate.
No, don't do that. It just draws attention to your head.
Absolutely.
And it shows that there is no cure for baldness.
There is none.
There is no cure for baldness. And I'll tell you why there's no cure for baldness. Because Jeff Bezos is bald. And if the richest man in the world can't fucking cure baldness, it doesn't exist.
That's right, yeah. And the only person who'd have any chance of curing it would be Elon Musk, and they don't talk.
No. Well, they just battle to be the richest person in the world, don't they?
Oh, it's spaceships at 20 paces.
That's it. I think Musk is the richest person at the moment, actually. I think Bezos.
This week.
Yeah, this week.
Yeah.
Although he's bought Twitter, he might not have as much money.
Oh, yeah. We've yet to see how that plays out. So that album was great. It was quite successful, particularly in the non-USA part of the world. But it did get into the charts in the
Australia.
US.
That's right.
In Australia, absolutely, and in the US.
Yep.
Yeah, it grazed the bottom of the charts, but with a band like Genesis,
It's not going to be top 40 material.
they're not top 40 material,
Not at
and
all.
they don't often get a single off their albums that's going to play on single radio.
You're not going to get a 9-minute song on the radio. That is for sure.
That's right. Even Bohemian Rhapsody was only 6 or 7 minutes,
that's
and that was the exception rather than the rule.
That's right.
Lamb Lies Down on Broadway was the next album. So where selling England by the pound was very English, they took that on board and they made Lamb Lies Down on Broadway very, very American focused.
And I just cut in here, Nick.
Mm-hmm. Please do.
92 minutes.
Well,
a double album, 92 minutes. It's nearly the same length as Selling England by the Pound. When you think if you'd made that a double album.
Absolutely, yeah.
Artwork. Who did the artwork?
Hypnosis.
Yes.
Hypnosis, spelled HIPGNOSIS, and there's for those who are really into wanky word meanings, hypnosis means gnosis is an ancient Greek word, as in
For siren?
no. Gnosis means knowledge.
Oh.
So knowledge.
Cool knowledge.
Yeah, exactly right.
There you go.
Yeah, it just never stops, does it?
We could go on like this for months. You could.
We have, yeah.
That thing inside that head of yours, Mick, has got some amazing shit in it.
Yeah. But it's not in alphabetical order, so I have trouble retrieving it sometimes.
Yes. That's what we'll work on, is some sort of system, like a Dewey Decimal system for your brain.
Ah, that's a fine idea.
I think so.
Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, a double album which gave them, since you've mentioned the cover, it gave them a lot more room to play with as far as the design. The cover itself, it's got elements of stuff that he used later on Wish You Were Here.
Yes.
A series of angular blocks telling the story and bleeding from one block into the next, with Rail's hand reaching out of one block into something else and grabbing something in another picture.
Yep.
So you can see that thematic consistency.
Who's
Wank,
Rail?
wank. Rail. Rail is the protagonist of the story. He's Rail is what would be called these days a gangbanger. He's a young Hispanic graffiti artist.
Oh, okay.
So he's in the story. The whole inside double gatefold is all text, and Gabriel's written this as not the lyrics. He's written a bloody story.
You've read it, haven't you?
I have indeed. It is awesome. Now, Gabriel's not known as a man for a lot of chemicals, but you could be forgiven for thinking he did. With this story, it really is quite awesome. It is a traditional concept album, and Gabriel has described it as Pilgrim's Progress in leather jacket and jeans, and so West Side Story with mythical elements.
Perfect.
You couldn't do any better. No. Rail is graffitiing, right, in the street. It's set in New York.
Yeah.
Rail's graffitiing, and all of a sudden, a wall of death, a black wall, is lowered in Times Square. Now, if you've seen New York, even in pictures or been there, the imagery of something coming down in Times Square, which is bright lights, it's billboards and pictures and lights and constant traffic 24 hours a day, and something black coming down and just completely covering that. He says, so a wall of death is lowered in Times Square and no one seems to care. Right. Yes, indeed. So Rail, from graffitiing, gets sucked into another dimension. A supernatural world where his body changes. He meets mythical, supernatural people and creatures, and his body starts to fall apart, rather. Yep. Bits drop off. Sadly, like a leper.
Oh,
and
not pleasant.
Yeah, so he's created some people called the Slipper Men. I'm not sure what the name actually means, but the Slipper Men is a group of people whose bodies have deteriorated, something like a leper,
right.
but a little more dramatic in the way Gabriel does things.
No. Did his willy fall off?
Well, no, because the only way he can save himself from completely falling to bits is to amputate his penis, which is a really dramatic way of going, I would have thought. And the lyrics in one of the songs is "Don't delay, dock the dick."
Oh, okay. I was going to say it'd make an interesting rhyme. What rhymes with penis?
Yeah, not a lot.
Venus.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry about that.
It's a bit like there was a question on Mastermind the other night about what was the name of the song sung by Witchy Poo in HR Puffin Stuff? It was a question about Sid and Marty Croft. Oranges, pornges, there ain't no rhyme for oranges.
Did you know that?
I knew that.
Oh, God. You're a dickhead, man.
So he amputates his male member, and a raven grabs it and flies away, which is all rather sad because he's supposed to keep it in a little tube around his neck, right?
What?
Yeah. This is a weird story. This is a weird story.
This is seriously weird shit.
It is seriously. So
So the raven's now got the penis.
Yep.
It's supposed to be around his neck in a little tube.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
So he goes chasing the raven,
Yep.
and on the way he sees his brother, who's gone into this same dimension, and his brother is in trouble. Right. He's in the grand parade of human packaging. So whatever that means. Right. So he's there on a production line. I can recognise John on the production line.
And he's a package.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're doing something with the bodies, and that's really quite unusual, to say the least.
It's a little bit unusual. I just had my penis stolen by a raven, and I'm walking down the street, and there's my brother. He's a package on a conveyor belt.
Yep.
Yeah. Nothing wrong. Oh, what am I thinking? That looks all right.
Yeah.
Look, I'd love to talk to you, Bert, but I've really got to go and find my penis. It's this raven's got it down the street somewhere, and I've got to put it in this tube. Anyway, do go on.
Now, the songs on the album are, by Genesis standards, a lot simpler. But they're still thumping. There's some great rock on there. There's one of the early songs back in NYC, back in New York. It just drums, dum, 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 dum. And Gabriel says, "I see faces and traces of home back in New York City."
Slipper Man.
Slipper Man, yes. Now, the Slipper Men are the people whose bodies are falling to bits.
Yes.
And the costume for Slipper Men formed the centrepiece of the performance of Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, which Genesis toured in its entirety.
Oh.
Yeah, with a lot of costumes, and some of the costumes, including that of the Slipper Man, Gabriel had to be lowered into. We are not talking about a coloured shirt and a nice tiara here.
And he could barely walk, I think, wasn't it?
Exactly right, yes, yeah.
Anyway.
Well, as I said before, Gabriel was into the whole theatrical trip. There was one song, "I Know What I Like," on Selling England by the Pound, where it starts off, and Gabriel always put on voices to animate his songs. You know, so if a person was singing, he didn't just say, "Bill said this." He put the voice on for Bill. He could have a number of different voices in songs, but he starts this one, "It's 1 o'clock and time for lunch." He says, "Me, I'm just a lawnmower man." And he's on stage, and you can see it on YouTube, where he's miming pushing a bloody lawnmower around in a peasant costume. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. So he's always done that when he's not dressing up in a dress and a fox hat. So Selling England by the Pound, in fact, was one really caused a lot of tension in the band, because the band started to feel that, hey, we've done this fantastic bloody piece of music here, and it's being overshadowed by all of these costumes and the stage show, which I can see, but it would have been an absolutely awesome show to see. Absolutely.
I think the Slipper Man did cause a few tensions.
Yes, yeah, they weren't real happy with it.
No, because they sort of thought, what on earth is this bloke doing?
Yeah, exactly. Now, many of the songs ran into each other, so it did actually tell a story. So, and we've had a discussion before about concept albums and what the point, something like Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie. Theoretically, it's a concept album, and it's got a whole bunch of songs that set the scene, but they don't tell a narrative story. This one does, completely, from start to finish.
Yep. You're right, though. It would have been a great concert to see.
It would have been extraordinary.
Mm.
Songs, most of the songs, as I say, run into each other or support each other. But then you've got something like Carpet Crawlers, which was the only single, and one of the few singles that Genesis released. It was a single released off the album, did reasonably well in England in particular. Not so strong in the US because it's a beautiful, delicate song with harmonies of Collins underneath Gabriel and the rest of the band playing, and some beautiful guitar work, some beautiful keyboard work, and it's regarded as one of Genesis' most delicate songs, and that stands in contrast with the thumping rock on some of the other songs. So I loved it. Yeah. Eno played on Selling England on Lamb Lies Down on Broadway.
Did he?
Yeah,
what? What did he play?
Enosification.
Oh, noises.
Yeah. So some of the wash and some of the sound washes over some of the songs and some of the effects.
Yeah.
Brian Eno.
Okay.
He was in the same studio. He was recording his own album, Taking Tiger Mountain by Strategy, which was his second album.
Yep.
And the Genesis guys, as you would expect, were huge Roxy Music fans because they were contemporaries.
Yeah,
those two bands, very innovative in their own spaces.
They had the same fan base, probably.
Probably, yeah. I mean, costume, sound, something a lot different to anything else that you would have found.
Teenage boys hiding in their bedrooms.
Exactly. Sending messages to each other.
Masturbating over photos of Roxy Music.
Well, they would, yeah. Very attractive man, Brian Ferry. So Genesis, the guys in Genesis were huge Roxy fans, and this was back when Roxy Music were groundbreaking, not when they moved on to their overproduced stuff. Thank you, Brian.
Yes.
So they asked him to come down and have a listen to what they were playing and see what he would do. So he did some touches on some of the songs.
Yep.
And as payback, Collins was sent back upstairs to play on Eno's album.
Oh, is that right?
So, yeah, on Taking Tiger Mountain by Strategy, you see Phil Collins as the drummer.
So Phil's there, and he's going, how much is this going to cost us?
Nothing, mate.
Nothing, mate, up you go.
Yeah, that's exactly right, yeah.
Oh, me?
Yeah. The album, it's held up a lot better than most concept albums. You know, some of the ones, Yes, concept album City.
Yep.
Yeah, so much for that.
Yep.
Jethro Tull, Aqualung, aside from a couple of good songs, it's not really much of a concept album.
Thick as a brick.
Thick as a brick's even worse, yeah.
Does go on a bit.
Yeah. Now, I enjoy the song, and it would make a great addition to a greatest hits album. Yeah. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, it just went on and on and on forever. So when they toured the album in its entirety, that was like a precursor to at the turn of the millennium. That became a big thing with people like John Cale. Elton John toured Goodbye Yellow Brick Road in its entirety in the right sequence, and a number of other bands have done that as well. So
that's all right.
Yeah, it's very nice to see that. Cale toured Paris 1919, which was his first breakthrough solo album.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yellow Brick Road, that would have been... Jeez, when did that come out? That's another bloody ages old album.
Early 70s, 72, 73. I'd have to check, yeah.
Long time ago.
Makes you feel old when you start talking about this stuff, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
Yeah. It's up to us to remember it.
It's all right. When we go and see... what's his face? He'll be 10 years older than us, so that's good to know.
Okay. We can feel a lot better then.
We can feel a bit better.
Yep. As I said, in contrast to Selling England by the Pound, this album was specially targeted at the US. Lots of American cultural references. It starts in Manhattan, and it talks about New York and Broadway.
Yep.
Right. References to Carol Chessman, Martin Luther King, Bing Crosby, Lenny Bruce, a rude comedian, JFK. Now, you asked, when we were talking about this, you asked me who Carol Chessman was.
That's right.
And Carol Chessman was an American who was sentenced to death for a murder, and it was always controversial about whether he actually did it.
Oh,
so
okay.
he
it's not a woman.
No. It was a bloke. There was a movie with Alan Alda quite a few years ago about that particular incident, and it's famous because even today there's still controversy about and an argument about whether he actually did it. He was a loser, had a long criminal record and everything, but there was pretty significant holes in the prosecution case, but they pushed it through.
Did he get killed?
Yes, he did. Yeah. Which was all a little bit sad. And the line is, Carol Chessman sniffs the air and leads the parade. Sniffs the air is a reference to he died of cyanide. They dropped cyanide into a container in the locked cell where he is, and he died of cyanide poisoning.
Yep. Yeah, not a fun way to go.
I can't imagine. It would have been quite painful. One of the songs fades out with My Little Runaway by Del Shannon. And there's talks about Howard Hughes in blue suede shoes, smiling at the majorettes, which is something that's uniquely American. Girls in short skirts leading marching bands.
Yes.
Something about their football and sporting competitions. They have lots of majorettes. Now, I can't argue with the concept of having attractive women on stage. But
they have a lot of them.
They have a lot.
They don't have like 10 or 20. They have a whole football field full of them.
It's quite extraordinary.
And they do really good marching. They're good marchers.
Yes, they are. Well,
they do rounds.
Nothing else to do.
I think they have boys in there nowadays as well, though.
Oh, that'd be fairer.
Yeah. And they play music and all those sorts of things. It's a huge industry. In fact, I think there's a show on Netflix about a documentary about that sort of stuff.
About sports entertainment?
Something like that.
Yeah, good Lord. That making albums look American was something that wasn't just Genesis. Around that time, a lot of bands and artists did that. People like Bowie.
What did he do?
Aladdin Sane was written on the back of a US tour that he did, and he used Mike Garson, an American jazz pianist, on his album, and the standout song on that album is Panic in Detroit.
Oh, yes,
so,
indeed.
Again, people hear it. Americans are fairly insular about what they do and don't like, don't have much of a view outside of America. In fact, many Americans, you've seen the thing on YouTube.
They don't know there is anywhere else outside of America.
Well, exactly right. They have a very low rate of passport holding.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah. Much lower than we do. Everyone wants to get out of here, but they can't imagine they've got Disney World. Why would they want to go anywhere else?
That's right. So we've got everything here. And their news reflects that as well, because their news is very insular, very introspective.
It is. Elton John, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player. He and Bernie Taupin came from a London suburb called Pinner, which is your average working class suburb, and they're writing American songs with their only experience of the world being suburban London and their only experience of America being TV shows.
That's all right.
And, we saw how that went.
Yeah.
The Stones, basically, they got their sound from import records of Chicago blues. Yeah. So they repackaged that, and as did Zeppelin.
Yep.
And Jimmy Page, he repackaged Chicago blues and then put 50,000 watts behind it, which was a sound system. Page almost single-handedly devised the touring outdoor sound system because they didn't have it before Led Zeppelin. Page did it because he saw America bigger, better with everything.
Yep.
And he went to Marshall and designed
big sounding things.
Big sounding things, indeed.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because Zeppelin sort of really epitomised that early on, the big tour of America. Like with the plane and all that sort of stuff. So they had the Led Zeppelin plane and all that sort of stuff, and really brought it out. And what's that book you were reading about the English invasion into America?
Oh yes, overpaid, oversexed, and over there.
Yeah, that's it. And Zeppelin were a big part of that, weren't they?
They wrote the book. There was no, not in the way that we recognise as fairly standard. There was nothing before Jimmy Page and Peter Grant, who was their manager.
That's right. Yeah.
Pulled it together, and it was almost a fake it till you make it type of thing. Yeah. Let's act as if this is normal.
Yep, and they became amazingly famous for it.
Absolutely, yep.
And got into the Kennedy Hall of what's that? The Kennedy Hall of Fame or something like that. I can't think.
That's only for Kennedys.
Yeah. Whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever it was, indeed.
Anyway, anything else we need to touch on here as we...
I think we've got to be getting close to running out of time here, aren't we?
We are. But if there's something you need to say, which I know there's probably 1,000 things you need to say, but you've only got
always
time for one.
Just one. Music's been a lucrative career for the members of Genesis. Phil Collins is worth £150 million, which is
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's what, $1.80 to a pound. So
in Australian terms, it's even more than anyway. It's a lot of money.
$250 million.
Yeah, depending on the exchange rate.
Yeah, exactly. That's nice work if you can get it. Gabriel's not quite as rich as Phil. He's only worth £95 million.
See, that's why it shows that if you're a little bit more commercially successful, you make more money.
Absolutely. Now the band is still going.
What's Mike worth, you reckon?
I haven't got his net worth. I thought 2 was enough to make us, make our eyes bleed.
I want to know what Mike and the Mechanics ended up. He might have ended up quite wealthy as well.
I think he's not doing too bad for himself.
No, he's probably not doing too bad.
Nor is Tony Banks, nor is Steve Hackett, who can tour.
He's still touring, or maybe he has to tour. Maybe Steve's a bit poor.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Well, the price of the tickets, I can't see how he could be poor.
Well, that's what they've done, haven't they? They made them so bloody expensive. It's ridiculous. Anyway.
So Genesis just finished their last tour in April 2022, and Phil won't be doing another.
No. Has he got arthritis or something?
It's a neurological disease based in his spine that probably...
He hasn't been drumming for a long time, though, really, has he?
He hasn't been drumming. He hasn't been able to. He's scarcely able to pick up a drumstick, which is really hard when you're one of the world's best drummers.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Joni Mitchell can't play guitar. She's got a neurological disease which makes it hard for her to sit up straight and hold a guitar, which is really terrible for musicians of that calibre.
I know. That's why they should stop being a muso and become a plumber.
Absolutely. Can't argue with that.
No, it's a quote.
Not without crying.
I've said to you before when someone asked Paul McCartney, how long are you going to be a musician for? As if like it was a part-time job. He says, that's all I do. I'm not going to stop and become a plumber.
Of course. I should have recognised the reference, shouldn't I?
Anyway.
So
they've done well for themselves, the boys.
They've done well for themselves. They've still got records and royalties and so on. And no doubt Mr. Banks and Mr. Rutherford will carry on, but they're all getting on a bit. Yeah. All born in 1950, they're all well into their 70s.
They're all 70s.
And they're all doing all right.
They're not well into their 70s, they're in their 70s. I don't think we want to overdo it.
Let's be quite nice about that. They've just got into their 70s.
Yeah, only recently.
Yep. And Steve Hackett's touring Genesis Revisited and playing in June 2022. And we're quite looking forward to that show.
It's going to be great.
It is indeed.
We're going to do a bit of Phil Collins and get really pissed before, so we don't remember any of it.
Yeah, maybe not.
Anyway, look, folks, thank you very much. We'll call it quits there. Don't forget, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, recommend us to your friends, and enjoy yourself, everybody. And thanks very much, and bye now.
Thanks, Mick. Thanks, Fat Man. I feel better already.